wonder if we struggle to see ourselves because we've only seen ourselves in one environment. For me, that's HR. And maybe I spent so many years seeing myself as HR that I never gave myself permission to see anything else. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive into this week's conversation. First, I have to start by thanking all of you for the overwhelming response to my conversation last week. I appreciate you all and thank you all for listening to me and for allowing me to share my truth with you all and for your prayers and your words of encouragement and just your kind words. I'm working my way through the comments, and if you have not heard back from me yet, please bear with me. I will definitely respond to you. In addition to that, I want to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for joining the collective and officially welcome to the Live Collective. A lot of the comments that I read, quite a few of you had said that your job is not your identity. And I felt that. And it's interesting that you all said that because one of the things throughout this entire season that I'm going through and navigating unemployment has been, yes, unemployment has been the main struggle. And the fact that my unemployment benefits are running out very soon is, of course, a huge concern for me. But I think the more I think about it and the more that I dug deep, I realized that there's an identity conflict that I'm struggling with because, as I shared with you in my previous conversation, I have almost 2 decades of human resources experience. And now that I don't have that title, or now that I'm not in that environment, I am struggling with identifying who I am without that. And one of the realizations that came to me is when I watched last week's conversation back, there were a few things that stood out to me. And one of them was, in one sentence, I'm telling you guys, or not telling you, I'm sorry, I'm asking you guys for tips, suggestion, advice on ways that I can generate income. And then in the next breath, I'm saying, well, you don't need a job, you need income, and that there's plenty of ways to generate income. And so the irony of that was that I wasn't applying my own advice to myself. And why is that, right? And as I dug deeper and started to think more about that, I realized that my internal struggle is identifying who I am without being in a human resources environment or without being or having a human resources title. Because when I thought back about it, who I was in these past 2 decades, my identity was connected to my job. I introduced myself as someone who worked in human resources. I measured my value by what I did. And it also became how other people saw me. And so at the time, I didn't question it because I loved what I was doing. But now that that's been taken away, I'm really struggling to identify who I am outside of an HR environment or having an HR title. And so even though I'm saying to you all, oh yeah, there's plenty of ways to earn income, and that is true, for me, my struggle is identifying what I can do, my skill set, my abilities, or what I have to offer, maybe from a service standpoint to others that can help me generate income. And so I sit and I think, okay, well, I'm good at problem solving. I'm good at critical thinking, I'm analytical, things like that. But how do I turn that into something that I can generate income from? So that's been my biggest pain point throughout this entire season since I got laid off. It's trying to figure out who I am without human resources and being in a human resources environment. And so essentially, it's me looking at things through a different lens. And that's probably the root cause of my struggle right now. Another thing that I have realized as I've been doing some reflecting that I found interesting was over the years, I've had friends and family tell me that I am creative. And immediately my default response has been, no, I'm not. And it's because I never explored that part of myself or really had an opportunity to dive into that part of myself. I've done some things here and there, but in terms of looking at it from, okay, yes, I am a creative person and kind of giving myself that label, I immediately default to no, that's not me. And so I start thinking about things that I have done or things that I'm currently doing, such as starting two businesses, learning YouTube, learning analytics, learning brand building, marketing, content creation, and all of the things that come with that. And so when I start thinking about and checking off things that I've accomplished or things that I've dabbled in or things that I'm learning, I start to see what they see. And because I've now validated it to myself, I feel as though, yes, I can say that I am creative. But again, going back to what I said a moment ago, I think that I kind of have been in this bubble and I haven't been able to see through any other lens other than HR. And so anything outside of human resources is completely foreign to me. And my default is that's all I know. But I found that interesting because it's not until I went back and thought about the things that I've accomplished and until I felt like I validated it to myself that I could then say, well, yeah, now I see why they think that I'm creative and say that I'm creative. But I think we probably all do this. I'd like to ask you guys, have you ever been in a similar situation where you felt that your identity was tied to a role? So maybe you're a caregiver, you're a parent, or maybe your identity was tied to a relationship. Have you ever felt like your identity was tied to that? And if the answer is yes, I'd like to ask you as a follow up, how have you or how did you rediscover yourself? And what things did you do to help, I guess, ground yourself to really dig deep and go through that process of self discovery and maybe recognizing some talents or skills that you've always had, but maybe have been dormant up until this rediscovery phase? I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that because as I said, that's something that I've just really been struggling with lately. And I think that's been the root cause of this season that I'm in. It's me trying to navigate who I am and figuring out what I'm good at that is not human resources, and maybe what transferable skills I have or what areas of uh, employment or industries that I haven't tapped into that I could look into. I'm really struggling with that. And I think it's also leading to a lot of anxiety. And pretty much every day I have a pit in my stomach because I feel like I'm just frustrated and I just can't figure it out. And it's quite possible that I'm overthinking it because I am an overthinker. But yeah. So comment below and let me know if you've ever been in a similar situation and had an identity conflict and how you navigated that and any tips that I can maybe tips or suggestions that I can look into to try to figure out who I am outside of human resources. I think I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to rediscover who I already am, and it's been super challenging, very challenging to do that. um yeah, I wonder if we struggle to see ourselves because we've only seen ourselves in one environment. For me, that's HR. And maybe I spent so many years seeing myself as HR that I never gave myself permission to see anything else. And when I sat with that for a minute, it was kind of like an aha moment for me because I think that's exactly what's happening right now is that HR was essentially my mirror, and everything that I did and everything that I said was reflective of that. And now someone has taken that mirror away, and I'm having a hard time seeing who I am without that mirror. And it's just really interesting. It's really interesting how some of us identify ourselves with the role that we're in, and you don't realize that while you're in it, it's until it's taken away that you discover this about yourself. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm starting from square one. And I thought that I knew myself, my likes and dislikes, and I do to a degree. But really when it's coming down to figuring out what else I have to offer that is not HR related, it's really been a challenge for me and it's really been a struggle for me. If I had to sum up everything that I just said about this season that I'm in, navigating this identity conflict, I think, I guess I would say that maybe it hasn't been about finding another job. Maybe it's about finally seeing myself through a different lens. And maybe that's something worth discovering. And as always, before I go, I want to leave you guys with my gentle reminder, and that is that no matter what you're going through, I want you to remember that up to this point, your success rate is 100% because you're still standing and you're still here. So please keep going. Please keep moving. Everything is going to be okay. And I'm also saying that to myself, and I'm also believing that for myself. We're in this together. We have to keep going. We have to keep moving. I do believe that, going back to God for a minute, I do believe that if God brings you to it, He's going to bring you through it. So I want to extend that to you as well. And that whatever it is that you're going through, please know that you're not going to be given any more that you can handle. And that if He brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. So please try to keep that in mind. I know it's hard. I'm right there with you. Take it one step at a time and just do the best you can with what you have. And just know that there's something bigger and better on the other side of this. Please share with me if you're comfortable what you're going through. I will absolutely respond to you. It may take me some time, but I will get back to all of you. I hope that you all feel comfortable enough and feel that this is a safe space to share what's on your heart. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. For those of you that have shared and will continue to share, thank you so much for trusting me with your stories. And I thank you for listening to my story and allowing me to share my truth with you all. I will continue to share my truth with you all. I think, as I said earlier, it's important to have these conversations while we're in it, and then we can have the conversations again when we get out of it and when when we're celebrating. But I think everyone needs a little bit of encouragement and praise and support while we're navigating these difficult seasons. And I'm happy to be that for you. And I thank you for being that for me. I'm just truly grateful for you guys, and I'm really grateful and thankful that you trust me enough to listen and to share with me. If you know someone that may benefit from hearing this conversation, please share this with them. Also, please like and continue to comment. If you are already subscribed, again, thank you so, so much. I'm truly grateful and thankful that you are here. If you're not subscribed, this is my invitation to you to join the collective by clicking on the subscribe button below. And also, please remember to turn on your notification button so you receive notifications from me when I upload a new conversation every week. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.